Alrighty, so the time has finally come to start building out the back of the Jeep. This is something I've been thinking about for a while now and put a fair amount of thought in as far as if I want to keep the back seats or not. Decided to get rid of those as we hardly ever use them anyway. It's going to have a single drawer on this side. Main reason being is this little cubby here is pretty good space considering there is hardly any space in here, and we want to make the most of it, so deciding to keep it. This side with the cubby will have access to this little compartment underneath, and then drawer on the left hand side. This front area will be divided up into compartments that you can reach from the top. So aside from just storage, this is also going to be a sleeping platform. So with that in mind, the height does play a factor. We don't want to be having our heads jammed up into the roof when we're trying to sleep in there like sardines in a can. So it's not going to be super high. I'm going to try meet somewhere in the middle between storage practicality and head height. So we'll see how that goes. Alrighty, so here's an update for where we're at. This area through here I'll make a cover panel, so that way you can still access the jack, but it just tidies it off, makes it a bit more finished. We did stick with the drawer on the left and the cubby on the right, mainly for this guy. So it's kind of hard to see, but underneath there is quite a lot of room, and so we want to maximize the storage. So we stuck with that. The drawer height we went with is 4 inches deep. So it seemed like the best blend of practicality without being too high for the platform and having your head jammed up against the roof when you're trying to sleep in there. I'll take you up the front so you can see what's going on up there. Okay, so up the front here, I toyed with the idea of making this work so that the seats could get put back in and then keep the back section still in place. But I went against that idea. I wanted to make the most of the layout, simplify things a little bit. So this is what we ended up with. I did make it fairly modular in the sense that these are individual boxes, and then they're held in with threaded inserts and machine screws. The benefit to that is that if we ever want to modify this, I could take out one side, I could take out the middle, we could take out all of it and change the layout fairly easily without having to just tear the whole thing apart. So the next thing that is on the agenda is making the drawer itself. So I'll make the drawer box and then install the drawer slides, make sure everything's running smoothly, and then start templating the top. With that being said, the top I'm probably going to do in two pieces. One, just to make life easier getting it in, and two, I'll do the same concept with threaded inserts and machine screws. So that way if we want to remove it or modify it, it's a piece of cake. Alrighty, so we've got another step done. We've got the drawer box built and mounted on the drawer slides. So I ended up going with the locking drawer slides. One benefit is when we're parked on a steep hill, the drawer is not just going to go screaming out and we can lock it in place. The other thing with these, they are full extension drawer slides, so it makes the most of the space, and you can see how long the drawer is. Now that that is done, it's time to move on to templating the top and finishing up this little section down here. Alrighty, so here we are. We've got the top finished, templated, cut and installed. I finished this little panel down here as well. So those unscrew. I'll keep an Allen key in the glove box or center console to have access to that jack compartment. And then this is all in. We've got our hatch through here. So that gets us underneath. And I'll show you up front for how that worked out. So this is how we're looking up the front. It's all in as well. Ideally I would have liked to have kept the grain running the same way, but that would have meant having to buy another sheet of plywood, which I just couldn't justify. And this actually worked out perfect. One sheet of plywood did the top, all of the top, with pretty minimal to spare. So we've got to countersink these screws so that way they sit nice and flush once they're in. And then we've got the little pillow headrest kind of things that are going to be on piano hinges. So I'll get those on. And then we are good to prep and paint. Alrighty, so here's an update on where we're at the moment. Originally we were planning to just keep this painted, but after giving it some thought, the dogs would just scratch the hell out of it way too much. So we found this. This is some exterior carpet from Costco. This is going to be more of like a rug, so to speak. So it's going to be velcroed in place. That way, whenever it gets dirty, we can just take it out, hose it down, and throw it back in. And then obviously each hatch is going to be cut out and then have its own separate piece of carpet on top. So there's another two there. And then the big long ones back down through here. So that way the same thing, if they get dirty or whatever, it's not hard. We can just take the carpet off, take it outside, hose it down, and we'll be good. So this part we ended up putting in kill mat for sound and some insulation since it's bare metal underneath. And then this little mat just to protect it So now we can stick things in there and we don't scratch it up. So here's a quick update for where we're at. The drawers in. So that's all working as it should. Everything's bolted in, got the cover panel on this thing as well. Headrests are mounted, the fold up headrests, and now we can put the top on. So here we are, everything is in, the carpet and mat, whatever you want to call it, is velcroed into place. So the cubby lids are just sitting in place for now. I do have some magnets for them. So that way when it's bumpy, corrugated roads, they don't rattle around too much. Excuse the bad lighting. You'll also see up the front, the platform is up. So that's when we're camping, we fold that up, space for your pillow. And then it's on a piano hinge, so once you're done, you just fold it back down. So there we have it. Everything is done, set up, as if we were to go camping. The mattress that we have is just a 4-inch memory foam mattress topper that we bought off Amazon. Cut it to fit the shape, and it works perfect.